Welcome to Rams Brawl. This is Derek Ciapala, the co-host, my partner in crime this evening, Tommy Polley. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute, but we're glad to be back and are getting closer and closer to week 1 of the NFL season. We're continuing our divisional previews with the AFC South tonight. Tommy, how you doing?
Well, I'm doing okay. Just, with everything going on, the energy a little low in the atmosphere. So just getting up and doing the show was, you don't have the energy like you usually do because just everything is happening and you're just taking it all in. And it's like, wow. I think, we got the season that we don't have, here in Missouri. I thought we was going to play now. But some teams in Missouri going to play, like Arlen and them playing tonight. Good luck to them. Well, they probably playing now. And we're not going to be able to play. In St. Louis, the health commission is not going to free us up to play. So, but we're not going to be in a high enough phase to get out and play. So, if we supposed to have a game this week. It was this weekend. It would have been a big game. So the kids are a little disappointed. And I just want to get out of limbo. I think next week they're going to give us definitive answer that we're not going to play and just look for the spring situation. So right now, I'm just emotionally everywhere. I don't know which way to go.
I noticed that when we got in the call here too, you didn't seem like the normal Tommy. The normal Tommy's got a little bit of a relaxed look to him, feel to him, like a little bit of a smile, and you're generally, the smart ass we all love very much, So, I mean, what's going on overall in terms of? I know it's got to be more than just football because you're a guy who is, despite being the linebacker, you're an emotional guy who loves the sport, who generally I think loves life, and. Is there anything else, is the coronavirus stuff, all the stuff we're seeing on TV, what's really getting to you as a guy who's just we're all just trying to live life right now. We're all just trying to get out of this pandemic and trying to move forward. Is it just that or is there more to it?
I think it's a combination, man. My kids can't go to school. I got to see them in the house all day. And that experience in itself, I was a kid, I like to go to school, I'm going to have fun with my friends or just the experience of going to school, doing something different. And just the mundane thing. So I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for the kids that can't play and get that experience of playing high school football in front of their family and friends. I feel sorry for the encounter with the police and the black people, guys getting shot. I feel sorry for that. I mean, I could be watching NBA basketball tonight, but they're not playing for good, for good reason. So I feel sorry for that. For whole sports not playing. I mean, it's just a whole marvel. It ain't just one thing I can deal with. No, it's like 8, 9 things going on. Then we got a politics season, so they cramming the whole politics down your throat. So it's just overwhelming. It's just a lot going on, and the spirits can't be too high in this moment. I don't know who can.
I get you, man. I get you. Yeah, we told you on my end getting laid off, partially laid off this year, working only part-time teaching, have to go work other part-time jobs, trying to make a living for my family, trying to support them. Nothing's the same. 1 year ago, 1 year ago, we're starting school 100% healthy, just normal life. Baseball season's going on, preseason football's underway, and there's no pandemics. The economy's going great. We have a less than 4% unemployment rate. And a year later, we've had what's close to not exactly like the Great Depression. Great Depression, I think people got even down on the dumps in terms of the overall financial problem. About 40 million people at one point out of work, a pandemic, racial unrest, crazy politics, and we, as much as we know, you believe we're seeing pro football this year, but the weirdness of the last 2 weeks can depress any man or woman out there. I think this. It's how do we as a society move forward when everywhere you turn, it's like you're getting punched in the face. So just whoosh. How do you do that?
I mean, you can't. You just gotta face the problems that we got because it's no way you can. Like before they were saying politics, not in sports, but politics always been in sports. From my vantage point, it's just now it's microphone, microscope right there to you right now. Like the NBA players are leading the goddamn leading the charge or whatever the case. That's crazy. You would think it'd be the people who got elected to handle that, but they putting athletes in a even with the Kaepernick situation. I mean, putting all these athletes in bad positions where their main job is to play football and do all that, but now they got to do all this stuff because the powers that be won't, or people in general won't just do the right things all the time. So it's tough on everybody's side because then you go down your social media and it's like everybody doing this. That's the picture I had up. I should have put my picture up, but everybody pointing fingers at each other like that. So it's like, I mean, it's a lot going on. That's all.
A lot going on. I do want an honest question because you said it's always been there. You said the politics have always been there, and I think prior to 2016, at least for when it comes to football, I didn't really notice it there. I always viewed, at least the NFL level, I always viewed it as one of the more, I'd say, patriotic sports out there. I'd say, the blue collar sport, the gridiron people, the one that pretty much any American, whether you're Republican or Democrat, could get around that sport. But you saw it from a different light, man. You saw it from the player standpoint. You took the field and you saw all the politics, at least the political views and differences in the locker room. So what's the truth? What does politics play a role when it comes to major sports, especially the NFL?
Well, it depends what region you're in. First of all, you gotta perform to your fan base. So, this saying, speaking for the Rams, they got a conservative fan base out here in St. Louis. So, they want their players kind of conservative, more reserved. At least when I was there. Like now they moved to LA. Now they can have a little bit more players that's more flamboyant, more out there. When I went to the Ravens, it was definitely a culture shift. Baltimore's a black city, so you can act how you want, be how you want, don't matter. Come on in, as long as you follow these rules. But St. Louis, we ain't gonna recruit that guy that may be a little edgy. So it's just different things like that, different markets. Like Michael Vick can only probably go to a certain couple teams. You can Atlanta, you can go to Philly, you can go to Baltimore. It's certain teams that the Patriots, they'll take a player or two, that you can go there and the fans will rock with you. But some places, that you probably can't go. That plays a factor in all the time. But the quarterback situation. Black quarterbacks get judged a little different than white quarterbacks. And we ain't seen a white corner. You seen a white cornerback lately?
It's been a long time since I've seen a white cornerback. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so
been a long. When was the last time I saw a white cornerback? When that comes to memory, Jason Sehorn.
Yeah, and I played with him. Right? So, that's just a part of politics and sports. For a long time, we didn't even have a black quarterback. But, that was wrong to be a running quarterback. Now look at everybody running. So, but it's still some things in there that a black quarterback I had to conform to, so he can run over the fan base, get the job and all that. So, it goes deep, and it's not easy sometimes when you got to conform to certain rules or certain stigmas. That's why people like Lamar Jackson. He's in the perfect city. They love him. It's a black city. He can act exactly how he wants. If he was somewhere else, they'd be like, man, why are you acting like that? So it all depends where you at, what teams it is, but it's definitely, just part of it.
Just curiosity. This is really curiosity. What about white players? What do white players have to conform? Is there something they have to conform to?
As far as the regular players, but the quarterbacks, yeah, definitely. White quarterbacks don't have to conform. They just do how Tom Brady did. you understand, but or how Peyton Manning act. I'm act like how he act. I grew up in the same type of environments where You got some other quarterbacks, Teddy Bridgewater or Cam Newton. They gonna act like where they from, and that's not all the time. Like I always say, football, you gotta look at the fan base. The fan base in most stadiums you look around is 90% white, right?
I think so.
You gotta conform. Yeah, they buying the tickets, right? So you gotta conform to what's that. Now you go to the Ravens and stuff like that. You go to Atlanta, definitely it's like 50-50. It may be 50-50. Some of them 50-50, but for the most part, no. So you gotta conform to who, the quarterback is like a CEO of the company. They're gonna be talking to the owners all the time, being in the same places, and so they gotta have a relationship. And a lot of times, sometimes, the race thing can be a barrier into, do I feel comfortable with this guy? So that is a thing, especially at that level right there, quarterback. Other positions, maybe not so much. You can act how you might as a DB, a corner, a linebacker, a D. But a quarterback, no, you got to act a certain way, certain stigma. And most of the time, it's following the pattern of a white quarterback, because that's the standard, right?
The pattern of the white quarterback, and it's interesting you say that, because when I think of a white quarterback now, in my view, the person that comes to mind is Tom Brady, like the person who was a drop back passer who works hard to keep his health up. A lot of times they'll marry the supermodel. Sometimes they have the personality like a Peyton Manning, who everybody seems to love the guy, at least on camera. But in the ones that don't fit, like a Ryan Fitzpatrick, he has an out there personality.
He's not good.
He's not good. But I'm just thinking
he's not even supposed to be in the league. That guy right there, a lot of times the black quarterback don't even get them all them chances that Ryan Fitzpatrick had. Ryan Fitzpatrick ain't never been good. Not 1 year. He's been a half-ass quarterback his whole life, made a shitload of money. That's the shit I be talking. That's the stuff I be talking about right there, though. Like, come on, man. Ryan Fitzpatrick.
But that's what I was asking. Is it personality that's kept in the league? Is his personality? Is it his color? Is it the fact that he's a dependable backup? Is it? What is it to you?
He's a Harvard guy. He's going to know how to. If it's a backup, he's going to handle it with grace. They're going to say. With a black, the ego come in. Can the backup quarterback handle not playing all the time? Yeah, it's Ryan Fitzpatrick going to handle it like how he's supposed to handle, or perception how he's supposed to handle, because they ain't really had a lot of backup black quarterbacks in the history of the game, right? So we're only going to go by what we know. So what we do know is, since all the quarterbacks in history, most of them been white backups that know how to handle being the second team guy, where maybe, a black quarterback who used to start and being the guy can't understand how to accept that role, or perception. They might not think so because it hasn't been a lot of it. So I just think Ryan Fitzpatrick's got a lot of chances, like a lot of quarterbacks, a white quarterback. They time where they keep getting a second chance, third chance, fourth. Black quarterback don't get that many chances. They just,
Well, and this thought's kind of mine here, because I'm just hearing what you have to say, and it's odd. I mean, you're getting pretty animated. This is about as from low energy to about as animated as I've seen you get in a hurry. Jared Goff, from his struggles now.
Yep.
Well, okay, let's just say Jared Goff is black. How would he, in your view, be viewed by Rams fans or the media in general compared to how we view him now? Because he's heavily criticized now. There's already a spotlight on him. Fewer people are giving him, shall I say, leeway anymore after last season. But if he's a black quarterback, how would you view him now? How would you view him? Sorry, how would the league view him? How would fans view him? How do you think the society would view him?
I think he's progressing fine. I think he still has steps that he needs to take. But my thing is, what I see, they're putting the tools around him. The team is putting the money into the players around him. I done seen a situation with Achilles Smith and them. I mean, they ain't had no. or a different black coach, they ain't had nothing around him. Even Cam Newton right now in New England, he don't have nobody around him. They tell like he gonna have to make lemon without lemonade. I mean, so what I see with Jared Goff, they're giving him the tools to be successful. So I see progression. Now, is he Lamar Jackson or Mahomes? No, he's not none of them. But he is a good quarterback for the Rams team that can help him win. So I think he's progressing. Then he has a great offensive mind as an offensive coordinator and coach McVay. So I think he has all the tools there. But more than anything, he can also sell to the fans, perception wise. He's like a CEO. I mean, look at. I mean, that's blue eye. But at the same time, he does have talent, and I'm not going to take that from him. He works hard. He's progressing. He's not there yet. So if that was a black quarterback and he was given the same tools and the same thing, I'll be looking at him the same way. I don't look at it like that. I look at who's playing well, who's not. But then I also look at certain situations where I see a team not putting the pieces around certain players, or they're not helping, say, a black quarterback, be successful. So I see them both in. And I see with a lack of backups in the history of the game, been black quarterback. There ain't been many of them.
But what I'm really asking you, I'm not asking it really, I mean, about your perception. Because I know, having talked to you quite a few times now, that you're going to see it down the middle. I'm talking about society in general. If Jared Goff was black, how would society view him in light of the struggles he's had recently compared to him being white?
I mean, he'll be getting criticized. All quarterbacks get criticized. But as long as they see a progression, as long as they give him some time. Would he get the big deal early? I don't know if he got it that fast, but, like I said, with Jared Goff, it's hard to say that he's not doing what he's supposed to do because he's still young and he's still progressing. So if it's a black quarterback, I say he'll be getting criticized. I mean, Jared Goff does get criticized throughout the nation. I mean, so I would say if a black quarterback, he'd be just getting criticized just as much as if he was playing the same, in my eyes.
Just also want to know too. Yeah, and I do want to know too, when it comes to Goff, I think he sometimes gets criticized justly and sometimes unjustly. I think sometimes we get so lost in the mistakes he's made, we forget the gifts he has. He has one of the best deep balls in the league when given time. He has probably the most accurate out throw in the league. And it's probably not even close. I mean, he's on the dime, over the shoulder, pretty much any time on those out throws. It's in the middle of the field, he gets in trouble. And there's a lot that goes into that, especially getting time, working with your weapons. We saw a lot of those problems last year. I think for me, I wonder, considering, and this is in some ways an uncomfortable conversation, because when we come to this show today, it was clear coming in that things are heavy on your heart. Things have been heavy on mine. So I'm watching all this stuff to go to, and you and I have talked probably a little bit offline that we, a little bit politically here and there, and we have obviously different perspectives. We have two different backgrounds, even though we're the same age. We have different experiences. And I just can't help but wonder, when you're talking about black quarterbacks or talking about white quarterbacks, or talking about players and how they're viewed across the league, how much race plays overall in the game. How much of a role does it actually play? How much of it is media driven? How much of it is just truth? I mean, how much of it is as evil as we sometimes see on TV in terms of how we view each other?
It's hard to say. When you did when it becomes normal, when it's become normal, my whole life, I've been born in the late 70s, 80s, so it was clear cut when I was at that age. It was, you on that side, and they on that side. Now it's obviously different. And I went to college, and obviously I had but me going to college was, going from, like I said, Baltimore's a black city, going to an all-black high school, all-black middle school, and then dropping me off at an all-white college. That's an adjustment there. So, even in this system right here with the NFL, that's why I like the NBA a little better. as far as their players and their top players standing up for them. In the NFL, guess who the top players are? Perception-wise.
Well, I mean, top players to me, just my perception.
Well, perception. You know, the world. Who we think are the top quarterbacks? Are the quarterbacks, right? When we're talking teams, first thing we're going to name is who?
Well, right now, the first person that comes to my mind is Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
I'm just saying,
any quarterback. It's not just Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, for any team, the first person we judge a team off is the quarterback, right? Sure. And then in the NFL, most of the quarterbacks are what? White. Right? So they are sometimes apprehensive to make a stand on like social justice. But in the NBA, guess who their top players are?
Almost all black.
Yeah, you see how they're different. So in the NFL, it always seemed to me, I had a buddy, his kid joined the league and all. He's like, man, the NFL a game. I'm like, why you say that? Because I always used to tell him how it was. I say, boy, this how it is. You got to act a certain way. Well, yeah, it's out of there. They don't care who it is. And they could do that because it's a monopoly. They ain't, so. And they treat you, so to me, it's just a little bit how they treat you. They treat you like a number in the NFL. Unless with certain couple guys make a certain amount of money, but you're a number. You don't really got much to say. You better not say much or your ass out of there. When NBA, you can be yourself a little bit more. And it's cool. You ain't ostracized or people talk. They blackball you in the NFL. Come on now. They blackball you. Who do? And then they admit that they blackball you. So it's just, that's the NFL. They're going to do what they do. They're going to protect that shield at all costs, and we don't care. But the NBA, it seemed like, they care a little bit more about their players. It's a feeling.
In fairness, I think the numbers also play a role in that. On NFL roster, you're going to carry 53 men. Normal, I think. It was gone like 54 or 60 now with the whole CB. I don't remember the number.
70% black league, right?
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying, when you have sheer numbers.
8% black league.
Well, even so, I'm not even thinking that. I'm just talking just sheer numbers. The numbers game where on an NBA team, you're going to be carrying 11 people in your roster. And that means there's that balance of contribution suddenly is a lot different than a 53, 54-man roster. And in that case, that 54th guy on your roster is probably easily replaceable by a UDFA somewhere who just wants the opportunity. So in that respect, it'll be a lot easier for an owner to say, yeah, you're just a number, get out of here. You're wasting my time. Versus a LeBron James. You aren't replacing LeBron James. Just even easily replacing your number 11 guy on an NBA roster because that's all you got.
That's all you got.
And yeah, the skill drop off from there is,
it's a big drop.
Big drop.
In the NFL, it don't even matter. Why? Because there's so many guys on the street that could be playing somewhere, but it ain't nowhere to make no money. So if you don't play in the NFL, you really assed out. Where in the NBA, I go to China and make some money. I go to Russia and make a couple mil. I can still make good money. You know what? I go out and you can't even make that decision now. So they know they got you and they can treat you anyway and do that. And if you don't conform, it's conform. This is the conversation we have. You got to conform to how the NFL wants you to act. If you don't act this way, your ass out of there. You ain't gonna be long. Not for long.
Sure. And the point you're making too. Look at how quick the rosters filled up for the AAF when it came out. And then it falls flat. And with that example in front of them, people still jumped real quick to the XFL opportunity. They were willing to take that shot because they were waiting for the opportunity. In fairness, the XFL didn't get a fair shot this year.
It was solid football. It wasn't bad football, right?
Yeah, and that's the shame of it too, isn't it? The XFL, I think, may have made it if this coronavirus doesn't happen.
I think they're back at it. I think The Rock going to come in. He's going to come in and pick it up. I think next week they're going to decide if they're going to bring back the coaches. But the franchise is going to stay the same. St. Louis loved it. I mean, I love the league because it gave guys who I know should be still playing opportunity. There's no guys that maybe they was, they wasn't a first team all conference type player, but they maybe started at 25, 26, and you mean to tell me they got to go to a job and they could be playing? Well, a 25, 26-year-old basketball player and go overseas and make a couple million. I know, but plenty of my friends did that. I mean, I love it.
I mean, and I do hope I hope it comes back. I hope it does. I think you're right, though.
And it's going to be a log jam with what's going on there in college, where it's backing up. They gave guys their extra year back, things like that. So guys are going to have to find a landing spot because it's going to be a log jam the next 2 years on the draft and college entries and going out year giving, year back. Guys are going to get hurt and medical. It's going to be a whole. It's a shit show on the ground level.
And that that's crazy. You're saying that. I'm looking. I can't believe this. You're right. I hadn't even thought of this. You're telling me I didn't even catch this. The Rock bought the XFL.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah. That's a great thing because people love The Rock. He crossed all borders. You feel me? And he's a wrestler, so he understands that part of it too. So I think it's a good thing.
And then, of course, he buys it with his ex-wife. By the way, it's kind of interesting. But I mean, there's been talk of The Rock run for politics, and there's a good chance if he ran for anything, he wins. Period. So all right.
I think the league does.
I think he knows exactly what he's doing in terms of buying the league, and I think a lot of people are going to want to go play in the XFL just for the sole purpose of, hey, this is The Rock, man. This guy's not going to. He's not going to mistreat us. No, I think it's really interesting and, quite frankly, pretty cool. Right. All right, so getting into it here, we do have a preview to get to halfway through our podcast already. The AFC South is interesting to me. It got a lot of changes. The Colts go out there and get Phillip Rivers and Forrest Buckner. The Texans did a whole bunch of crazy stuff. They trade away Hopkins. They get Brandon Cooks. They get this roster. I can't even believe how much they shifted this. And I'm not even sure to make. I mean, you can tell me. They get Brandon Cooks, Randall Cobb, David Johnson. They already have Will Fuller, and they have Deshaun Watson there. But the way they did the trades,
man, that's a bunch of number 4. That's a bunch of number 3 receivers.
I'm getting there. I'm not sure, but I think Fuller's a solid 2. Okay, you have Will Fuller. I think he's a solid 2.
When they not hurt.
The Jaguars, Gardner Minshew steps in as a starting quarterback. Okay, Leonard Fournette struggled last year in a contract year. This is a roster that they did fine in the draft, but they still have all of a sudden they're rebuilding. A couple years ago, they're trying to get to a Super Bowl. And the Titans, AJ Brown was a masterpiece pickup for them. Derrick Henry, awesome. Ryan Tannehill is your starting quarterback. What do we make of this division?
I think they had this division is going to be terrible as usual. Terrible as usual. One of the ones some of the games you don't want to watch. But maybe you'll watch Deshaun Watson. He run around, make plays, and not too many people want to sit and watch Tennessee. But I mean, I like him. I think Vrabel's a heck of a coach. He played with a lot of fundamentals, discipline. You can tell he's out of that Bill family, the Belichick family, and then he also went to Ohio State. Out of that. So I mean, I love everything that they do. They play downhill, going to run the ball. They use their weapons right. Tannehill makes all the plays. He just makes the play that he's supposed to make. He's a well-paid game manager. That's what I will say. And he got paid twice. Whew.
Yeah.
Remember we talked about earlier that what? But anyway, I ain't going. Let's keep on talking. All right. So like I said, and they play good defense. They got a good linebacking core, good D line. They get after it a little bit. Like I said, Coach Vrabel, they do a great job coaching them up. But I think Tennessee against takes the division. I think number 2 it'd be Deshaun Watson. They got a lot of names over there. They did a lot of things in the offseason. Even though it doesn't look right, I don't think it's right, but the division's so weak. It just looks like Deshaun Watson can will them to like 8 games itself. And then hopefully somebody can get him to maybe 9, but I think 8-8, 7-9 probably. Tennessee would probably be, I like him 10-6. And then like Indy, I think Indy they'll be solid. I'm not sold on Philly. Rivers, he old. He throw a lot of picks in the clutch. Running backs, somebody need to merge. I like their defense is solid. I like Leonard, their middle linebacker, sideline to sideline, make a lot of plays. Come out of Black College. In Jacksonville with Minshew, I think they're gonna be. They don't have many receivers. O-line not that good. Minshew, they make plays, but he's, to me, he's like a Ryan Fitzpatrick. They're not expected to be good. He's gonna put up numbers just because nobody's checking for him. I mean, if I'm playing Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm not, or Ryan Fitzpatrick, I'm not as a team. Let's say I'm the team. We playing Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm not thinking about no Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm not thinking about Minshew. Man, they did some whack. So, but as far as Leonard Fournette, I'm looking at Leonard Fournette. He said he had a bad year to me. He had 1,152 yards, that was 4 yards a carry. That's pretty damn good for terrible Jacksonville. You put him with the Rams right now. They'll shoot right to they 10-16.
I would say he wasn't. Listen, in a 16-game season, 1,152 yards is decent. It's pretty good. Well, it's pretty good, but pretty good. I'm just saying that the Fournette we saw 2 years ago that was destroying defenses, he wasn't there last year. This is not a hammer against him. It's saying, I want to see, is he still able to do what he was able to do? He's had a couple of injuries that slowed him down, right? I want to see, because that Fournette we saw his first year in Jacksonville, oh man, that was one scary dude. That was somebody you did not want to go up against. That was somebody who was exciting to watch. And the last couple of years, it's just been like, oh yeah. When you said 11:52, I was like, he ran 11:52? Really? It's just, I want that guy again. I want to see that Fournette. I want to see the one who blows teams off the football. I'm not sure Jacksonville put the talent around him necessary to do that. It was a nice draft for them. I'm just not sure if it's going to come together this year or will it be next year. That's all I'm saying.
I feel you. I just said for anybody, Leonard Fournette put 1,152. Them some nice yardage. How many yards did the back for the Rams have?
Well, man, let's not even go there. Arvin's not here to defend that, And that's something we got.
What I will say is hard. I'm not saying, did he have his best season? No, but when you're dealing with it, this is what I will say. Being, an ex-athlete, when you're dealing with stuff, you don't even know what's on your back, right? So
sure.
You're playing and you got all these issues. You got family issues. You got, I don't like my boss issues. You feel me? You got all my friends just left the team issue. Like, all that's weighing on you. And now you're not out there free as you want because you're thinking about all this other stuff that's going on. You got the personal life and office stuff. So the guy come out there for a side team and had that many yards dealing with everything that was transpiring at Jacksonville. I think that's an admirable year. So I'm not defending. It's just a different perspective sometimes. Yeah, these guys are gladiators, but they're also humans, and they also carry a lot of stuff. I know when I used to carry a lot of stuff, and then when I get rid of the stuff on my back, I'm like, dang, I feel better. I can run around a little faster. I ain't thinking about this and that. I'm just out here playing. And I think a lot of that happens when that contract year come around. So that's why I would say teams. Fournette ain't your guy. Let him go. If he's your guy, give him the contract. extend him so now he can play free. I mean, you don't want a guy. I mean, a lot of times you don't want a guy thinking about a contract. Even Ezekiel Elliott, he had a damn good season. They try to say he had a bad season, then he run back the numbers like, no, I still had 1,300 yards last year coming from the beach. So it's kind of, but he will even say himself, no, I wasn't the player I was probably the year before that when I had 1,700 yards. You understand? But I was dealing with a lot, and I didn't have the camp to get me in prime shape. I like all those guys. Well, I like Zeke come back and have one of those 1,800 yard seasons. And so I just say it's a human aspect to this whole equation that we sometimes don't even really think about.
It's easy to forget. It's just, how it's easy to forget how teams, their play as a team hurts the individual.
Yeah.
It is easy to forget that. And this is what, I'm wrapping this back around the Rams. If the Rams have a healthy offensive line last year, how does Todd Gurley do and how does Jared Goff do? How do they perform? I wonder about Todd because that front burst was missing, but once he got in open field, no one was catching him. We saw that. If there's an offensive line to give him the open field, those gaps in his game probably aren't showing much. For Goff, he was protected pretty well the last couple of years. Then 2019 happens and he's a mess. So I think sometimes we forget how easily just one shift, a unit that underperforms, like the offensive line, changes the entire dynamic.
I mean, that's true, but I'm gonna give the Rams a little pass. I think they played Admiral last year. They had a tough division, man. I mean, they in arguably the toughest division in the league, right?
I mean, that's how I view it. I think this division this year is nuts.
It's nuts. Last year was tough, but this year is nuts.
The Cardinals are going to be, at the very least, decent, if not good. And I look at, too, with the Rams, like just some random stats. The Rams had 7 passes caught and stopped at the 1 yard line. So Jared Goff's numbers were, I think, 22 and 16, 22 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. 29 and 16 sounds a lot different, doesn't it? And it was 1 yard away 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about...
sometimes you can, after you go back and look at the season and analyze, you just, a couple plays off here or there. Somebody score here, get in here, make this play here. I think the Rams are right there. They got the talent. Coaching staff is great. I mean, I like their organization. I don't know. It just feels different to me. It feels like they're for the players now. I know, which before it didn't feel like that. Right now, today's game, I see them dealing with the ex-players, they're tweeting out. It's before, it was all business.
All business and bad business for that matter. Let's just be honest about that. It's bad business. I think, if I were to characterize the Rams right now, Tommy, I think they're for the players, but the business still comes first. Like the business for them is they want to win a championship. So in that respect, they're going to let Todd Gurley go because they think long term that's helping them win a championship. If the same goes for Brandon Cooks, they went underwater by $1 million for the salary cap this year to trade him away. And on the surface, it doesn't help you, but the 2021 salary cap, everything changes, right? If this whole pandemic thing doesn't wreck it. So I think they're willing to, the players they have on hand and their past players, they're going to show, they're much more willing to show love, but they're still going to draw that line at, even if it means a broken relationship for a while, they're going to send them out. I think Todd Gurley was a great example of that.
And that's fine. But you don't get rid of Eric Dixon in the middle of his prime, right?
Ooh, I agree. And did it pay off in them either?
Eric Dixon had a great goddamn year. After that. So I'm not. What I went with the key words you just said.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to do it by any means necessary as long as it makes business sense. What I was saying with the Rams when I was here was, yeah, they was trying to win a championship, but our way. What's our way mean? Our way means we're not going to bring in all the time the most talented player. We're going to bring in the players that we most like or we feel most fit our system. It's a difference. Well, I think the Rams, I mean, if you number one on the board, man, come on in, we're going to coach. That's how it just looked at me. It feels that way to me. Like, you don't let London Fletcher go in the middle of his prime. A guy you developed, you discovered, and you just let him go for a bag of peanuts. You don't let that guy go. I don't see the Rams doing that. Gurley, he left a little room there to let him go. He had it burst. The line not blocking is good. Yeah, Gurley, you can't get through that hole. Well, we don't need you. We need a little younger guy that can get through that hole a little faster. That I understand that. That's okay. We get that. But to not have the core of your team, you're making concessions. I had heard Mike Martin say like he had never want Randy Moss on my team. Right.
So I want to break in here too. I know this is a different sport and a different place, but given the impact the film had, just want to note that Black Panther actor Chadwick Boseman has died at age 43 of colon cancer, just announced here a little bit ago. He played Jackie Robinson in the movie 42, probably one of my favorite movies, to be honest with you, and also was in Black Panther. So again, Chadwick Boseman died, just announced here, it's August 28th of colon cancer. So our condolences to his family. Outstanding actor. My gosh. I'm sorry to hear this one. Just came across the wire, Tommy. Great movie.
Seen it. It's condolences to his family. That's amazing that happened. They said he had lost weight, that lady, but I didn't hear he was sick. So to speak, where he was going, past.
4-year fight.
So it's surprising. And he's young.
A 4-year fight. Outstanding actor. Just, my gosh. So.
Sad to hear. Man, 2020, man. It's been the worst year of my life. I ain't gonna lie. It's been the worst year I didn't see. And we got 6 months. We
got 4 months left, Jeez.
Just one the worst year by far.
Yep. And the crazy thing too. Here, I mean, check this out. This is who he played, man. He played T'Challa in Black Panther, Jackie Robinson in 42, James Brown and Get On Up, and Thurgood Marshall in Marshall. And today's Jackie Robinson Day.
Wow.
Man, that one's a tough one. But he's one of my more favorite actors. For his performance in 42 was an outstanding performance. So that kind of puts a kill on the conversation, doesn't it? But that is what it is. 2020. I gotta say, man, 2020 can go, die in a fire. I'm done with it. I'm done. We thought 2019 was bad. 2020, I'm done with it. Oh yeah, and then Hurricane Laura hammers us south. What a week. What a year. So, putting it all to an end of it, though, Tommy, great conversation today, man. Great getting on so many different topics. But we should really kind of put this out to end the show. AFC South, let's light it up right here. 4th place, your team is going to be who? Who finishes 4th place there?
Jacksonville.
I'm going Jacksonville as well. I'm saying... I've seen some people having 2-14. I think they're a little better than that. They got some talent there from the draft. I'm going to go 4-12. They're number 3.
Give them 5 games.
You're giving 5? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, your 3rd place team, who is it?
Indy.
With Phillip Rivers at quarterback and...
Rivers, he old as hell, man. Come on, man.
The look you gave was awesome. Okay.
He should have been... No, because in football, you got to be all in. And I feel as though he was ready to retire and they drug him out of retirement. I don't like how that sounds.
That is that team is. There's talent there, though. There's talent in that roster.
Yeah, but can he humble himself? And you know what? I'm just going to check it down, or you know, I'm just going to throw the ball away. You know, same question we had about some other quarterbacks. I think Phillip Rivers gets a pass sometimes. He makes boneheaded decisions late in games that cost.
He presses. He definitely presses. And you know, I got to think of this too. You know, I'm not sure why the Colts did this, because Jacoby Brissett did a heck of a job considering he stepped in last minute.
Yeah, I thought he did.
Develop the guy, man. Keep developing him.
Can't sell it to Indy fans. You know, it's Indy. It's the Colts now.
My gosh, I mean,
gotta have that face.
I don't. Philip Rivers isn't that kind of face, though. I'll be honest with you. I mean,
it don't matter. It's the face. You know, it still look good for the fans.
If I'm a football guy, I'm wondering about that.
Brisket is not Brisket. I mean, whatever. He's supposed to be the quarterback. I don't care. Like, come on now. That's crazy.
This guy stepped in when Andrew Luck.
$20 million. Like, and he was going to be cheaper.
Yeah. Andrew Luck retires. Last in, Brissett steps in, holds down the fort. Had a decent year. Develop him. You got Frank Reich as your head coach, a former quarterback. Develop him. Keep him there. Oh, man, that bothers me. Okay, so for me, though, you making me think about this. Huh?
That's from my conversation earlier.
Yeah. And look, appearances look a little off. So third place for me, I don't like what happened in Houston, man. I don't like you're going to send away one of the best receivers in the game. You're going to bring in a running back who hasn't done anything in 4 years, a receiver, Brandon Cooks, who's talented when healthy, but he's a one-trick pony in my view. He'll stretch the field for you, but he's also had, I think, 6 concussions in his career now at the NFL level. They have some other guys around him, and Deshaun Watson's worth a lot of wins. I don't like the feel of the organization, man. I think there's a lot of stuff going on there that just it doesn't seem right to me in terms of the feel of the organization. This goes back to a couple of years now, but I just don't. The feel for it, personnel wise, is off for me. I'm going to put them in third place. It's not. We're talking the first, second, third, in my view, that are separated by 1 or 2 wins. It's not a world beater division. Second place. Who's your second place?
I'm gonna go with Houston. Of course, I think Deshaun Watson is just great. I think he can do, despite his coach. I think that's their biggest issue is their coach. To me, he's a power hungry guy right now. So he wants his organization. He's running everything. So I don't know. I just don't. I think Deshaun Watson, he just carries the team on his back if he can walk at the end of the season. I think
you've had an invasion into the man space. You can look right now. Tommy's up looking over to the computer. I agree. I think that there's a lot of concerns there for me. And I think that's going to hold them back. I think it's an organization that's long overdue from going deep, and they're not. I just think that right now I think O'Brien's holding them back. I think the personnel decisions are holding them back, and I'm wondering who on earth thought was wise to give him the keys. Second place for me, I'm rolling. You know what? I'm going Tennessee, and it's about the quarterback for me. Tannehill was a manager, and Derrick Henry was a workhorse last year. A workhorse. And when you rely on that much of a game so much, I wonder if they can come back this year with that same build and be as successful as last year. So that's my second place team. And your first place team?
Tennessee.
Okay.
Because I think they got a great coach. Their defense is tough. They got identity. They're gonna run downhill. I mean, they're going to play a physical brand of game, which most people in the league don't like to play a physical brand. You know, it's a different era. They're going to blood in your nose. So to me, I mean, I think it's a no-brainer about Tannehill ain't got to do nothing but make a couple throws a game and let the running backs and let the defense do the rest. You don't have to be a hero over there. Like I said, they do a good job of coaching up their guys.
I just, for that team, I mean, they relied so much on the running game last year that they're going to make Tannehill win games from this year. Defense are going to try and force that offense to beat them with the passing game. I'm not sure they can do it. I'm going with my team is the Colts on this, and the Colts. It's for the same thing. You got that look on your face, but I think because I have a lot of faith in Brissett. I think they have Rivers there, and if he, I think if Rivers is there and he bombs out, you have a guy who took you through last year and did it pretty well. They have a talent roster across the board. To me, the biggest question is quarterback. It's not a perfect team. They're not heads above Houston or Tennessee, but I think quarterback matters, and you have two guys. One of them, I think, will pull through, and I'm saying this now. I would not be surprised if they end the season with Brissett at quarterback. Tommy, can't hear you, man.
That's just me. I mean, I think Phillip Evans could get hurt, but I think again, if I'm Brissett, I'm pissed off. I ain't gonna lie. I'm pissed off. I done started last year. It was my team. And then y'all come and just get a job to him. I mean, it's trust. Like, it's some things you just can't get out your mind. And you still a human. But, man, you got a job to do. And everybody going to say, well, you're in the NFL. I mean, but is it really fair? Or what do you really feel about me? So, I mean, when you get to that, would I think he overcome that? Yeah, because he just, like I said, it's normalized. So I think he'll be able to overcome it. But just the mindset that you got to have to overcome that situation. That's for anybody. Me, I just cut my loss. Cut me. I don't want to start. And then y'all come bring somebody else in, give him my money to make me take a pay cut. And then when he get hurt, probably now you're going to ask me to say today. Oh, man, come on.
I don't think
good luck.
I don't think it's a case of him getting hurt, though. I think there's a really good chance he doesn't perform well out there. Right. There's a really good chance Phillip Rivers. Listen, there comes a point in every quarterback's career where they just don't have it anymore. I mean, from out in my area here, Bernie Kosar, I went to same high school he went to, did a great job with the Browns all those years, and then Bill Belichick comes in and benches him for, of all people, Vinny Testaverde. And the reason was diminishing skills. Bernie gets cut, goes to the Cowboys, has a couple nice starts there when Nathan's hurt, and he spends the rest of his career as a backup, pretty much proving Belichick's point, diminishing skills. At some point, you can be a star in this league, and you just lose it. Peyton Manning, his Super Bowl, that last Super Bowl, was it him, or was it that Bronco defense? It was that Bronco defense all year.
Definitely wasn't him.
I think that's where Phillip Rivers is. And I think we're about to see that. I think my prediction, maybe this is an off-the-wall prediction, and you could tell me I'm wrong. I think by week five, Brissett's back at quarterback.
I just don't see it, man. You paying that man $25 million?
You're also paying millions and millions and millions of dollars to try and go back to the playoffs and win a Super Bowl. I'm not saying Brissett's the man for that, but I think he's in a better position right now. He knows that system better than Rivers does. Rivers has never played for a team in a cold weather environment, even if it's in a dome. Like, he has to move his family. He played in North Carolina, played in California. Now you're going to move all your family, all your kids to Indianapolis? Indianapolis?
No, they're not moving into Indianapolis. No, he's not moving on that. He's just going to play the season. That's my whole point I was saying. Your whole career, you had your kids with you, your family with you. Now you're going to go to Indianapolis. You're not bringing your family. You're going to be in a new city on a 1-year deal. I mean, to me, you stealing. To me, that 1 year out the door.
But even in that 1 year, Tommy, I mean, that 1 year, nothing fits about it. Nothing fits about it to me. Like whether his family moves him or not, nothing fits. That's really my point. I don't think that Brissett, I'm saying it right, Brissett is the guy who right now will take him to a Super Bowl, but I think he's much more capable than Rivers right now, at this point in his career, to take them to the promised land, at least being the playoffs. That's my point.
Yeah, he probably is. They should have just let him be this day one starter. Gave him the money.
All right, so it's time for us to go. It is time for us to hit the road, hit the bricks, and good show. Good stuff today. Folks, you can find Tommy on Twitter. Where?
At Polley29.
Okay, you can find me on Twitter at Ciapala. You can find Ramsbrawl at Ramsbrawl. Make sure you check out our Twitter feeds. Make sure you check out Ramsbrawl and the Brawl Network. It's growing quickly, folks. As a matter of fact, they're looking for writers. If you're looking to write about the Rams or other teams, go check them out, the Brawl Network. And with all that, it is time for us to hit the road. We'll see you next week with I believe it's our AFC West preview. We're out of here.